Well, hi there. I'm going to show you how to do my floating free stitch. It's a really pretty stitch. And this is just a stitch video, so I'm just going to show you how to do the stitch, but I'll give you some tips and things so you'll be able to make a full project. The cast on and cast off will be linked in the description. Just scroll down and you'll be able to see them there. Okay, so all I did is I cast on with the crochet chain cast on, and it will be linked. Then I did 2 rows of owl eye, and if you don't know how to do owl eye, I have plenty of videos on my channel, tons of them using owl eye stitch. Okay, and then although you could use garter there and on the sides, but I used owl eye on the sides and I used owl eye on the edge. And then I went right into the stitch. And on the back, the stitch looks nice too. It looks like this. This is it in here. And then this is just the owl eye border, but we'll do more and then you can look at it more. The yarn I'm using is from Hobby Lobby, and it's I Love This Chunky Yarn in Cinnamon Cedar. And the loom is a 5/8 inch loom. It's a Cindywood loom, 42 pegs. 42 pegs is a youth size hat loom from Cindywood Looms. Okay, and this is it. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, I marked the pegs, so I've got markers here and here, 2 here, 2 here. You can use even or odd pegs, it doesn't matter. My loom hook is from We Have a Handle on This, and it's a painted wood one. They have similar acrylic ones on Etsy because they don't make them anymore, at least for right now they don't make them. Okay, so I think that's everything you need to know. One thing is I always have a stitch marker, one of these safety pin ones, and I always put what my stitch is, which direction I'm going with which stitch, and the stitches that are there. And that way, if I put it down or whatever, I always know what I'm doing. So that's a tip for you, you know, one way to do it. And if I'm making a hat or something, I just clip it on the bottom of the hat. Okay. All right, let's get started. So it's a 2-row stitch. I've already done the owl eye on the side, so we're going to do row 1. Row 1 is my double purl stitch that I call purl around. This one purls around. Okay, so what we do is we go into here, we scoop it up, and we purl. Then we come to the back, we come down, and we scoop it up. Okay, we purl, we go behind and come in front and purl again. So it's just one in my double purl series, the purl around. Okay, so we go like this, we scoop it up, flip it over, come around, and do it again. So every peg, when we're doing it, this row gets a double purl, but it's a double purl by going behind, going around, and knitting it off. Okay, so it's a double purl around or a purl around stitch. And there's the last one. It's a really lofty, nice stitch. Okay, now when we get to the edge, I'm doing the owl eye border, so I go over peg 1 in a really loose U-wrap, knit it off, come back over it, and come over the next peg, doing it nice and loose. because these are big stitches. And I come back nice and loose, knit it, and then do the second stitch on here. And that's what I'm doing for the border, but as I said, you can use any border you want. Now, row 2. Row 2 is my juniper stitch. So you go over like this. Okay, so if you're watching, we're going to wind over, behind, and over again and hold it. Then we're going to take the 2 bottom ones and just put them over the top. So wind over twice, over the top. Now this is the working yarn that's over twice. So we're taking the working yarn over, but we're taking it over by wrapping it twice like this. So we only take over half of it. But just like this, make sure you're always doing the bottom ones over the top. I have another variation of juniper I call juniper berry, and in that one I take this one over first and then this one. It changes the stitch only slightly. It tightens it up though, so you won't have as lofty a stitch. Okay, and then owl eye on the sides. Loosen it up. And you can just loosen it up after if you're too tight. You can just loosen up those stitches, right? Make sure they're nice and loose. You don't want it pulling on the stitch because it's a tight stitch. And I better, I'm pulling on the stitches because I don't have enough yarn out. So I'm going to loosen up again. Okay, now we're going back this way again. So we're going to do the double purl. That's called purl around. Okay, so we scoop it up. Come back. I named it purl around because that's exactly what you're doing. You're purling around. So if somebody else comes up with it, it's named exactly what you're doing. You're purling it, you're going around, and you're purling it again. Purl, purl around. Purl and purl around. Purl, purl around. Purl and purl around. There. Got that stitch caught. Okay, and then the sides, which I'm doing in the owl eye stitch. Nice and loose. I do have plans to do a round project in this stitch. I'm not sure when, but it will be happening. May not release this video until I'm ready for the round one too. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, now we do the juniper stitch. And you can actually just whip through doing this juniper. It's a really fun stitch, but I'll slow it down here for the last couple because it's the last time I'm going to demonstrate it. You go around twice, pick up the 2. And you're in control of the tension because it's just this that you're holding on to. So if it's too tight, just loosen up. Don't hold it tight. Make sure it's loose enough that these easily go over. Okay? I'll do the edge stitches here. And then we can take a look at it now that it's gotten quite a bit bigger. I'll stretch it out so we can see how the stitches look. And there we go. There it is. You see it to the side. And we'll look at the other side. Looks pretty nice here on this side too. Different though, quite different. Now if you were doing it really, really loose, you'd get a stitch that looked more like this. But if you're doing it tighter, which I'm going to do for my hat, you get this kind of a look, and it just looks like a bunch of happy little Cheerios or O's dancing around. Really like this stitch. It's very lofty. So with the right yarn, it can look really, really beautiful. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Actually, when I look at it, it seems to be leaning a bit to the left here. So that's something to keep in mind. If that happens, you can just do a row of, and you're doing a long project, just do a row of knit or something, one row of knit, and then reverse the direction. And then that will keep it straight, and just do that every maybe 3 sets or something. That's what you can do. I don't know if it slants enough to get a good zigzag out of it, but you never know. But it does have a slight slant to it. If I had a really loose, longer border, it probably would have a bit less too. But it is a really beautiful stitch. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, bye.